First, he created the most frightening film ever made. Then, he took his unique vision of terror one step further. Now, George A. Romero takes us out of the night, beyond the dawn, and into the darkest day of horror the world has ever known. Day of the Dead.
George A. Romero stands as a pioneer in the zombie genre as he reshaped the landscape of the genre with his groundbreaking Dead series.
After doing Dawn of the Dead, I had this realization that, gee, one was the late 60s and this was the late 70s. And I suddenly got this conceit about, well, maybe I'll do one of these every 10 years and try to, reflect a little bit of what's going on.
Among his masterpieces, Day of the Dead occupies a unique place, serving as the culmination of his exploration of societal decay and human survival in a post-apocalyptic world dominated by the undead. Released in 1985, Day of the Dead delves deep into the psychological struggles of its characters while delivering visceral thrills and thought-provoking commentary. At the heart of Day of the Dead lies a diverse cast of characters, each representing different facets of humanity's response to the zombie apocalypse. Leading the ensemble is Sarah, portrayed by Laurie Cardell, a resilient scientist determined to find a solution to the epidemic. Little known fact, Laurie Cardell is the daughter of Bill Cardell, or Chilly Billy as he was professionally known.
My father was actually in the original Night of the Living Dead. He played himself, Chilly Billy. He was a television host in the 60s.
Dr. Logan, or Dr. Frankenstein as he is mockingly called, played by Richard Liberty, embodies the desperate quest for scientific understanding in the face of overwhelming horror.
They can be tricked into being good little girls and boys. Same way we were tricked into it, on the promise of some reward to come.
And finally, we have my personal favourite character of the movie, Captain Rhodes, portrayed by Joe Pilato. He represents the authoritative figure grappling with the breakdown of order and morality. You may also recognise Joe from the extended version of Dawn of the Dead. Other characters in the film include John, played by Terry Alexander, Bill, played by Jarlath Conroy, and Fisher, played by John Amplis. Now moving on to Captain Rhodes' men, we have Private Steele, played by Gary Clark, Private Rickles, played by Ralph Marrero, Private Torres, played by Taso N. Stavrakis. You may also recognise Taso, who appeared in Dawn of the Dead. He was one of the bikers who gets his intestines torn out by the zombies. We also have Private Miguel Salazar, played by Anthony DeLeo Jr. Miguel was the lover of Sarah and plays quite a pivotal role in the film. We also have Private Miller, played by Philip G. Kellums, and finally we have Private Johnson, who by now horror fans will recognise as being played by the special effects artist Greg Nicotero. The performances in Day of the Dead are compelling and nuanced, capturing the desperation and fear that permeate the isolated underground bunker where the survivors are holed up. Cardell's portrayal of Sarah is particularly noteworthy, conveying both strength and vulnerability as she navigates the moral complexities of her situation. Pilato's Rhodes in particular is a chilling antagonist, his descent into madness mirroring the decay of the world around him. One of the film's most striking elements is its special effects, crafted by the legendary Tom Savini. Known for his mastery of practical effects, Savini creates visceral and gruesome scenes that linger in the viewer's mind long after the credits roll. From the gruesome zombie makeup to the jaw-dropping gore, the effects in Day of the Dead are a testament to the artistry and craftsmanship of practical effects in the pre-digital era. Day of the Dead without a doubt has the best special effects in Romero's original Dead trilogy. The zombies in Day of the Dead are the best looking zombies in Romero's original Dead trilogy. I'd go as far as to say that they're the best looking zombies in all of Romero's zombie films. They're more decayed and more gruesome looking. From their peeling grey skin to their rotted teeth, we really have seen the evolution of the zombies in this original trilogy. Throughout these movies, each film had a main zombie. In Night of the Living Dead we had the Cemetery Ghoul, played by Bill Heinzman. In Dawn of the Dead we had Stephen, aka Flyboy, played by David MG. And of course in Day of the Dead we have Bub, played by Howard Sherman. Bub is a fan favourite and is also the most intelligent zombie in the trilogy. He shares a lot of scenes with Dr. Logan as they form a bond with each other. Logan is constantly trying to prove a point to Rhodes that the zombies can be communicated with to be taught and act in a civilized behaviour. And this would be the first time in a Romero zombie movie where a zombie would have an emotional reaction to a character's death. Bub is so much more intelligent that he even learns to speak, and one of the most iconic things he does in the movie is salute and fire a gun. When showing Bub to Rhodes, Dr. Logan gives an explanation that Bub was apparently in the military. In addition to its performances and effects, Day of the Dead is elevated by its haunting score composed by John Harrison. The music underscores the film's sense of dread and impending doom, heightening the tension and atmosphere of unease. From eerie synthesizer melodies to ominous orchestral swells, Harrison's score perfectly complements Romero's vision. The environments depicted in Day of the Dead are crucial to its atmosphere and thematic resonance. The claustrophobic confines of the underground bunker serve as a microcosm of the decaying world above. The contrast between the sterile, utilitarian interiors of the bunker and the desolate, zombie-infested landscape outside highlights the stark realities of survival in a world gone mad. Behind the scenes, Day of the Dead faced numerous challenges, including budget constraints and logistical difficulties. The original script for the film was much bigger and had to be cut down.
Originally, I wrote Day of the Dead as bigger. It would have cost about $6 or $7 million.
The original script for Day of the Dead was a phone book. You know, it was Raiders. It was Ben-Hur with zombies in it. I mean, it was a major effects film.
All of the stuff that's in the existing Day of the Dead, but there was also an above-ground encampment.
A group of people who had fortified themselves against the zombies created a camp with the society kind of crumbling both physically and morally.
It had some outdoor action sequences and some chase stuff.
The script, I remember sitting on my couch in my parents' basement, reading that script and just being floored by it. I loved that script so much, and I just thought, man, this is gonna be the coolest zombie film ever made.
Romero and his team were forced to work with limited resources, improvising solutions to technical problems and creative obstacles. Whilst filming Rhodes' death scene, the special effects team used real animal intestines.
The guts had been stored in a refrigerator.
While we're gone, somebody unplugs our refrigerator.
Supposedly, accidentally.
For 2 weeks. You can imagine when we got back what it smelled like in that shop. It was worse than an autopsy.
I'd never smelled a dead body before, but this was bad.
All the zombies they had wax and I had a respirator on with English leather all over, just something.
They're spraying cologne and there's stuff in the guts. So once they covered it and then they put the shirt on and everything, and it was action, and then they come running in. As soon as they ripped me open, the smell hits me. Oh my God, it's just horrendous. In fact, I may hurl right now if you want to catch that.
Despite these challenges, the film's production is a testament to the passion and dedication of its creators. In 2005, a sequel to Day of the Dead was released straight to video. The film was directed by Anna Clavel and received poor reviews upon its release. I haven't seen the film, so I can't give my thoughts, but I don't think I'm missing out on anything from what I've seen from the trailer. Along with the success of Zack Snyder's remake of Dawn of the Dead released in 2004, Day of the Dead had its own remake in 2008, directed by Steve Miner. The film didn't receive a theatrical release, so it of course didn't receive the same success as Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. The film shares a few similarities, but overall I don't think it's a good representation of Romero's original. Instead of the character Bub, we have a character named Bud, who is a vegetarian, and when he becomes a zombie, he doesn't eat humans. The remakes and reboots didn't stop in 2008 either. In 2017, another reboot of Day of the Dead was released, titled Day of the Dead Bloodline, directed by Hector Hernandez-Vicens. The film had a budget of $8 million and yet again is a poor representation of George A. Romero's original film. And if that wasn't enough, in 2021 a TV series was made simply titled Day of the Dead. It had its premiere on the Sci-Fi Channel on October 15th and concluded December 17th. I can't give my thoughts because I haven't seen the show, but it didn't receive rave reviews. Although, having said all of this, looking back on the sequel and the remakes and reboots of Day of the Dead, upon its release, George A. Romero's Day of the Dead received negative reviews, but thankfully as time passed it became a fan favourite, and has certainly remained my favourite in the original trilogy. In conclusion, Day of the Dead stands as a landmark achievement in the realm of horror cinema, a chilling and thought-provoking exploration of human nature in the face of apocalypse. With its memorable characters, stunning special effects, haunting music, and fantastic environments, the film continues to captivate and disturb audiences over 3 decades after its release. George A. Romero's legacy looms large in the genre he helped define, and Day of the Dead remains a testament to his unparalleled talent and vision.